Glad to hear you.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
So here's three of you.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Four of
perfect.
you.
Perfect. Perfect. So all those, well, whose avatars I can see, well, are here. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Very good. Well, how are you doing?
I want to sleep.
Yeah, everybody wants. Well, I have nearly overslept, to tell you the truth. I don't know how is the weather in a place where you are. Well, but here it is a bit gloomy and it seems like raining. Yeah, so it's the weather for sleeping. Well, anyway, we have a job to do. Okay, great. Quite a lot of you today. Well, my first question is if you have any problems from the previous lesson. Do you have anything to ask? Yeah, because we're not going to come back, and so we're going to deal with something new. Okay, no question. Then what are we going to do today? A little bit different thing, grammar. Today we're dealing with grammar, and I'm absolutely sure that you know this grammar, but well, you know, revision is a good thing. When we revise, well, we always can find something new. We always can find something new. Well, and what grammar are we going to deal? Well, we will focus on the use of past simple, past continuous, and past perfect, past tenses. Well, and also we will talk about so-called advice structures. So that is mostly modals, which we use when we want to recommend something or to give advice. Well, all this language, all this grammar is very useful when we want to tell stories, for example, or to give advice, of course. Well, so let us start. And yeah, we will start with, again, I am struggling with this program. I'm showing you, or no, oops, here, window, here. Okay, you can see it, yeah? So it is called grammar, past tenses, and advice structures. So you can see the slide, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. I don't ask you, well, what is present simple, what is past simple, what is past continuous, what is past perfect, and how we make these things. Well, we start with watching video, which will help you to go through all these tenses first. Well, and then we'll start doing exercises, talking and practicing. And the video is here. Okay, like this. Wait. Okay, here. Can you see the picture? And now I'm starting, and I hope that you will see the video and hear the sound.
Past tenses in English.
Can you? Yeah, can you hear? Can you hear and see?
Yes, we
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
When we want to talk about the past, there are 4 different tenses we can use: simple past, past perfect, past continuous, and past perfect continuous. In this video, we'll review how to form each of these and look at when each might be used. Let's start with simple past tense. Simple past is the most commonly used of the past tenses. It's formed by adding ed to the end of verbs. For example, walk, walked, push, pushed, wave, waved. That's how simple past is formed for regular verbs. However, there are many irregular verbs that don't follow this pattern. For example, go turns to went, drive turns to drove, and eat turns to ate. We use simple past for actions or states of being that began and ended in the past. For example, I drove to the beach yesterday. Last night we walked the dog. She met her friend at a party. Each of these actions, drove, walked, and met, started in the past and ended in the past. Now let's move on to past perfect tense. We form past perfect by using the word had plus the past participle of a verb. For example, had been, had walked, had met. Note we can use the word not to create negative sentences. Here are 3 sentences that are written in past perfect. It had been a great holiday before the rain started. She had not spoken to him. By the time Tim got home, James had already left. Similar to past simple, past perfect is used for actions that began and ended in the past. The difference is that past perfect is often used to show that one action in the past happened before another action in the past. The first of our 3 sentences is an example of this. Both actions, it being a great holiday and it raining, started and ended in the past. The use of past perfect tense shows us that this happened before this. In this sentence, both events started and ended in the past. However, the use of past perfect orders these events to show that this happened before this. The clause using past perfect describes an action that happens at a time earlier than the clause using simple past. Past perfect can also be used for conditional sentences. For example, if I had studied harder, I would have passed my test. Now let's move on to past continuous tense. We form this tense with the past tense form of the verb to be, plus the present participle of a verb. For example, they were watching the football. She was working hard. Note that to be is conjugated to match the subject. Past continuous is used for a few purposes. Firstly, it can show that 2 events in the past were happening at the same time. For example, Kate was painting while Toby was gardening. Past continuous can also be used to show that an event in the past was interrupted by something. For example, we were watching a movie when the power went out. Or, everyone was chatting until the concert started. The final past tense is past perfect continuous. This tense is formed using had been, followed by the present participle of a verb. For example, Sam was pleased her daughter had been working hard in school. It had been raining for hours when we arrived. The car had been running well until last month. Similar to past perfect, past perfect continuous shows that one action in the past happened before another action in the past. The difference is that whereas past perfect emphasizes the completion of an event, past perfect continuous emphasizes the ongoing nature of an event. To better illustrate this, let's have a look at two sentences. The first written in past perfect, the second written in past perfect continuous. I had given him advice before the test. In this sentence, the action, giving advice, begins and ends in the past. The use of past perfect emphasizes the completion of the action. I had been giving him advice before the test. In this sentence, the action also begins and ends in the past. However, the use of past perfect continuous emphasizes that it was an ongoing action. Another example. I had hoped she would agree. I had been hoping she would agree. Past perfect continuous emphasizes the action of hoping was ongoing. Now it's time to have a go at applying your knowledge of the four past tenses. Use the given verb and tense to complete each sentence. Be careful of the irregular verbs. Pause here while you work.
Okay, so let us do this. Yeah, wait a second. How to do this while I cannot see? Sorry. So you have watched through these explanations well, and I hope that well, you understand them, yeah? Well, just okay. Now let us. Да, я выключила, получается, все заново. Сейчас, одну секунду.
Past
Yeah, here we are.
to complete each sentence.
Okay, so here we are. Well, who can make the first sentence, please? Да что ж такое? Посмотрите, что-то у меня.
Past tenses
Воюю с техникой.
Let's see how you
Well, yeah. Well, here we are. Well, who can make the first sentence, please? Yeah, guys. Can you do this?
The
Okay, please.
wind below past perfect. The wind has been
Past.
blown. Had been. Had
No, that just yeah, that is past
had
perfect.
blowed.
That is blown. Okay, it's a regular verb.
The wind has blown leaves all over the path.
Had blown. Well, because that is past perfect. Okay.
Had blown.
Yeah. So the wind had blown leaves all over the path. Well.
went.
Next могу
Number
тоже
one.
я.
Huh?
Next
Sorry?
могу тоже я прочитать.
Yeah, we just listen to the
Uh-huh.
well, to his
We need the word had along with the past participle of blow, which is blown. The wind had blown leaves all over the path.
Okay, so be careful, Will, because that is past perfect. That's why that is had blown. Okay, try the next one. That is past continuous.
I was swimming when it started to rain.
Okay, perfect. Let us have a look.
Number two. We need to use the past tense form of the verb to be, conjugated for first person, was. Then we need the present participle of the verb swim, which is swimming. I was swimming when it started to rain.
Okay, yeah, very good. Number three. Well, maybe somebody else.
Could I?
Yeah,
Could
please,
I?
please. Past perfect
Kate
continuous.
Kate had been slept when the storm hit.
Well, past perfect continuous. So past perfect, that is had been.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay.
Had been
Been.
slept.
No. Continuous, that means that the main verb should be in a
Sleeping,
participle.
maybe.
Yeah, participle one, sleeping. Yeah, Kate had been sleeping.
Number 3. To form past perfect continuous, we need had been, along with the present participle. Kate had been sleeping when the storm hit.
Okay, so that is, yeah, be careful. If it is past perfect and continuous, well, where is continuous here? Like this, yeah? Be sleeping, well, and then we have this verb in third participle, had been. Here, had been sleeping. Okay, number 4. Who will try that? Is just past simple. Yeah, we'll
Yesterday,
continue.
your dog jumped over the fence.
Yeah, dog jumped over the fence.
Number 4. Here we're forming simple past, and jump is a regular verb, so we simply add ed to jump. Yesterday, our dog jumped over the fence.
Okay, who will try number 5? Yeah, please. Number 5. Yeah, please. Someone.
Okay, I will go. He has
Yeah,
been
please.
trying to sell his car, but no one wanted it.
Yeah, well, again, he had. That is past. Yeah. Be careful here. Well, we are talking only about past tenses now.
Number 5. We are working again with past perfect continuous, and so again we need to use had been and the present participle. He had been trying to sell his car, but no one wanted it.
Okay, well, and number 6, well, it is the verb hide is here and past perfect. Okay.
The
Past perfect.
criminal
Yeah.
had hidden before the police arrived.
Yeah, hide, hidden. Yeah, so had hidden. Very good.
Number 6. We need had and the past participle of the irregular verb hide. The criminal had hidden before the police arrived. Before you go, write 4 of your own sentences, one in each of the past tenses.
Okay.
I'd love to see your attempts in the...
Yeah, we won't do this. We will try to practice first. Okay. Okay, we will try to practice first. Well, and for this, I will так. Сейчас. Ну, что такое? Почему не могу выйти? Ага, вот. Sharing. Yeah, now I will open exercises where we will practice. And Так. Here we are. No. Yes. Can you see? Okay, great. Well, yeah, you can see. Very good. Now, yeah, let us go through this. Well, you see, this is like past tenses. All of these 4 past tenses that we were listening to about, well, are presented here. The variants are given. The variants are given. Okay, so let us start. Так, ну давайте я как-то буду, наверное, вызывать, кто есть, чтобы мы по одному. Смотрите, есть у нас... Ага, вы мне плюсики писали, кто есть. Великолепно. Или это так?
Да, так і ділаємо.
Yes, okay. Yeah, Stanislav, please. The first one. Станислав? Видите, все не так просто. Максим.
Я тут.
Okay, so the first one, please.
Так, second.
No, the first one.
The first. When Patricia. Так. Got into her car, she remembered she was leaving the water bowl on.
Boiler on. So when she got into her car, she remembered that she... Не услышала. Какой вариант из этих?
Вариант D.
B, yeah, had left. So because, well, this happened, she had left the boiler on. That was before she remembered and before she got into her car. Yes, so when Patricia got into her car, she remembered she had left the boiler on. Okay, very good. Number 2, please, Yaroslav.
We were enjoying our meal on the train as it was going across the beautiful countryside.
Okay, so these are 2 actions which were going simultaneously. Yeah, so we were enjoying our meal while it was going across. Okay, perfect. Very good. Well, then Bogdan. Yeah, Bogdan here.
Yeah, just a second. I need to read first.
Mm-hmm.
They had been traveling for only a few minutes when they had flat tire.
Okay, so that is A. Okay, they had been traveling. They were in the process before another past action. Okay, number 4. Так, Vitaly. Is Vitaly here? Okay, Alexander. Now we have 2 Alexander. Okay, yeah, please.
Which Alexander? I am.
Okay, yes, please.
Grandpa. His last car. Grandpa was having his last car for 30 years when he sold it last year.
So there is A.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, does everybody agree? Well, you do you,
I would say D, because he had in the very past the car, and after that, like a second action, he sold.
Yeah, so he sold, but before this he had this car. Yeah, so that is had. Grandpa had his last car for 30 years when he sold it. There is one thing.
Скажіть, будь ласка, ну це як?
А це had, допоміжне дієслово для past perfect, а had, verb have in past participle. You see?
Ну, тобто так і треба говорити, grandpa
Так,
had.
Yeah, had.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just let's imagine how grandpa have or has, but
Has had, here, has
in
had,
the,
you can
in the
say,
past
yeah.
had, yeah, and
Yeah.
it doubled.
Yes, it is. Then there is one more thing. Why you cannot say was having? Well, you remember that there are some verbs which we can never use in continuous. Тобто деякі дієслова, вони не використовуються в continuous, тому що це, ну, так звані state verbs. І це дієслово have в значенні, якщо ви маєте щось, да, ви не можете його використовувати в континіусі. Це як підказка вам тут, що ми не можемо казати was having.
Yeah.
Зрозуміло.
Да? В теперішньому часі також, якщо ви маєте машину, ви скажете I have a car and never I am having, yeah? Okay, good. So that is grandpa had had his last car for 30 years when he sold it. Okay, then number 5, please. Так, number 5. Еще один Александр есть, Бочаров. Is present? Okay. Роман. Okay. Сергей. Okay, so we...
Yes, 5. Fifth.
Number 5. Number 5.
Oh, okay. Also, he early child in Germany. He doesn't remember anything from that time. He was just a second. He doesn't remember. Not sure. It looks like just a C when he spent his early childhood.
Yes, yes, absolutely right. Yeah, yes. So he spent, well, that is an event which happened in the past. Yeah, there is nothing about continuous. It has
During the time.
Yeah, so during this time, but it finished its a kind of effect which happened, which took place in the past, right? Okay, now we have 6. Well, and we start from the beginning here. Okay, Stanislav.
Ярослав?
Stanislav, here.
Так, yes, I am here. 6.
Yes, number 6.
Vegetables and fruits don't taste as delicious as they так. I think variant B have done when I was a
kid. Well, have done, that is present perfect, right? But present perfect we use when something has just happened or started in the past and continues into the present. Well, but here we have when I was a kid. Yeah, so we specify the time. So it cannot be present perfect.
Were doing weren't C.
Well, no. Well, so who can help? Well, in the video, there was nothing about, well, this structure used to do.
Used to do. Yes,
used to do when I was a kid. Well, do you remember? Well, this used to, this is a structure, a past, which we use when we talk about the past. Well, but about something which, well, far into the past and now doesn't exist anymore. Well, because when we use just past simple, like did or was, well, it means that it can happen again. Well, when we use structure used to, we're talking about something which took place in the past, well, but doesn't exist anymore. So when I was a kid, well, I cannot become a kid again. It is in the past. So as they used to do when I was a kid. So the used to taste, it means. Okay. Well, then let us go further. Maxim, number 7. Maxim here? No, Yaroslav?
Just a second.
Number 7.
What were the two talking about when they started to quarrel?
What were the two talking about when they started to quarrel? Yeah, so that is action interrupted in the past, yeah? Okay, very good. Well, now number 8. Oh, who's next here? Dmitry.
Frank, variant A, moved to this city 5 years ago, but it seems he still isn't used to living with the heavy traffic.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, it's correct. So here we have simple past here. So moved to this city 5 years ago, we know the tense. Well, and here isn't used to living. So used to, it is when we talk about past, which cannot be repeated, well, but used to doing something when we use first participle after used to, that is like adjusted to. So isn't used to living. Ще не звик жити. Ну, не жити, як це. Ще не звик до трафіку там. Окей, добре. Богдан.
Ну, тут я вважаю, що C. I have lost my pen and I don't remember where I last used it.
Okay, very good. So we have present perfect here. Yeah, I have lost. Yeah. Well, does everybody agree?
А може, I lost my pen and I don't remember when I last had used it.
No, no necessity in this.
It looks like B.
Had used where I lost my pen and I don't remember where I
Yeah.
last used it. Where I last
because
had
it-
used it. Uh-huh.
Yes,
It doesn't.
yes.
So the most of you is for this variant, yeah?
Yeah, because first action, he used pen, and the
Yeah.
last one action he
Uh-huh.
lost.
Okay. Yeah, to tell the truth, I also incline to this one. So I lost. Well, and I don't remember now. So, and it happened in the past. Well, and before that, he had used it. Yes, variant B is the best here. Okay. Well, and one more, the last one, number 10 here. Alexander?
Yes, it was a real surprise because she had no idea that they they organized a birthday party for her.
You said she had no
I think,
idea.
Ну, це був сюрприз, тому що
Так.
в неї не було ідей.
Так, so
She
had,
no idea.
okay? Had no idea, agree.
Had no
Well,
idea.
B or D? B or D?
Okay. That they or have been organized or had organized. I think, yes, had organized.
Had
Це
organized.
просто організовувала.
Yeah, it had already happened, yes? Well, because it was a real surprise. It happened. Yeah, so they had already done this. So she had no idea that they had organized a birthday party for her.
А скажіть,
Okay,
будь
very
ласка, в
good.
принципі, а
Мгм.
якщо сказати have been organized, це помилка чи можна в такому контексті? Ну, це ж процес, який
М,
був.
Або, але це ж have
Ну, had
been
been.
organized.
Ні,
Well, there is
а якщо
present
було
perfect.
had been organized, це може
Ай,
бути, от, в принципі. Я просто не
уф.
можу ці тонкощі зрозуміти для себе.
ну,
Якось тут...
можна я спробую? Це
Мгм.
організували, це одномоментна дія, то вона
Так.
не має ширини в часі. Якби тут було, що ми святкували, celebrating, от тоді
Ага.
можна було б.
тобто, коли це одномоментна дія, то не можна. А коли це якийсь час, там, впродовж там, години чи тижня, тоді можна
Так.
використовувати.
Так, continuous підкреслює duration в часі, 5 хвилин,
Мгм.
5 годин.
Мгм.
Зрозуміло. Дякую.
Добре, дуже добре, розібралися з цим. Окей, so we have practiced a bit. No, это у нас будет потом домашним заданием, если захотите сделать. Okay, now we continue and we go further. Yeah, wait a second, stop sharing. Так, yeah, we go further. Ага. Just a second. Well, I have some more exercises here. Yeah. Так. Так, єсть. Ще щось для вас підготувала. Так, Ctrl, клик. Ага, и оно ушло отсюда, да? То есть вы теперь не видите. Не так мы сделаем. It is a link. Yeah, it is a link. Ой. So I can share this link with you. Well, and you can go to this site. Yeah. And do exercises there. Yeah, here it is. Если это не те упражнения. Сейчас, подождите, я ничего не напутала. Это те же самые упражнения. I'm sorry. Сейчас вторая ссылка есть. Это те же самые. Мы могли их сделать. Так, сейчас. Ага. Ну вот смотрите, вот эта ссылочка, которую я вам отправила сейчас, это вот эти упражнения, которые мы делали, и там дальше есть. So because that is only the beginning, well, you have 3 more pages there. So you will, we will come back to this link a bit later. Okay, a bit later. Now we go further. Yes, and there is one more video. I want to show you. Well, because it requires some clarifications. Yeah. Так, мы его посмотрим сейчас, а потом по учебнику посмотрим задание. Окей. Ага. Слышно, нет? Can you hear or not?
No sound.
No
Нет, сейчас не
sound.
слышно.
Окей, сейчас. Так, stop sharing, share. Так, вот так, вот так. Вот. Теперь должно быть слышно.
For you. A narrative tenses quiz. It's going to test your ability to use all.
Сейчас.
Well, hey there, I'm Emma from English. Today I've got a quiz for you. A narrative tenses quiz. It's going to test your ability to use all of the past tenses
Okay, you hear, yeah?
in English.
Yes.
Do you hear?
That's right.
All okay, good.
All of
Mhm.
them. Now, I'm not going to lie, this quiz will really push your limits, but practicing all of these tenses all at once is going to help you to better understand how they fit together and how they get used together. And that's going to help you to become a better English speaker, especially when it comes to talking about past events and experiences and telling stories. So here on the English channel, we've been talking a lot about storytelling and about narrative tenses lately. I've shared some really great grammar lessons to help you understand and to practice some of the more complex parts of the English language. This quiz, this challenge today is going to test your understanding of past tenses, past perfect, past continuous, even past simple. And I've added links down in the description to all of the grammar lessons that I've made that are going to help you to study and go deeper on some of the things that we'll test today in this lesson. The cool thing about that is you'll get to find out what you're really comfortable and confident with, but we'll also work out, well, what you need to work on a little more or what you need to improve on. So here's how today's quiz works. I'm going to start off by telling you the verb that I need you to think about, and then you'll see a sentence appear on screen, just like this. So the verb is write, and I want you to put it into the past continuous tense. You'll have a few seconds to write down your answer before I read the correct one out loud.
Okay, so past continuous tense. Who will tell? Past continuous?
Was writing.
Okay, perfect.
She was writing an email. So I know that was an easy one to get started, but there are 3 practice rounds. Each one is going to focus on a different tense. The first will be the past continuous. The next, the past perfect simple. And then the past perfect continuous. But the final round is longer, and you'll need to think hard about how these tenses work together, including the past simple tense. So you'll really get to put everything that we've been learning over the last few weeks into practice. As always, if you have any questions, write them down in the comments below. If you have any example sentences you want me to check or you want feedback on, drop them down there as well. I'll be down there giving comments and guidance and explanations as we need it. All right, let's get started. Round 1, past continuous. Drive.
Okay, so past continuous, please. Who can make it? Past continuous, guys.
Я вибачаюсь, а можна по попередньому задати питання? От
Так.
там було вона писала, а якщо б
Ага.
сказати вона написала, то як це буде коректно? Ну, просто, наприклад, вона писала там лист, а вона написала лист.
Вона написала, якщо це тільки що завершена дія, так, то буде present perfect. She has written. Yeah, she has written. Well, if it is without any context, just she has written. Якщо вона писала...
Якщо сказати там she wrote, це що буде тоді означати? Ну, просто
Я не почула.
звичайно.
Якщо сказати що?
She wrote, чи як це друга форма?
Well, she wrote a letter yesterday. Past simple. Yeah, we just state the fact. Ми стверджуємо якийсь факт.
Ти не знаєш, чи вона дописала до кінця, чи не дописала.
Він це дописала точно до цього часу. Я так розумію різницю.
Ми маємо результат. Якщо ви кажете she has written a letter, це означає, що ви маєте цей лист на руках. Ви його бачите. has written, ви маєте результат. So this is a letter, she has written it. Okay? Коли ви кажете, she wrote a letter yesterday, well, you don't know where is this letter, well, you just know about the fact. Okay?
Дякую, дякую.
Well, okay, here this she suggested to use past continuous. Yeah. So somebody, anybody, nobody.
Was driving.
Yeah, I was driving to work. Okay.
I was driving to work when it started to rain. Wait.
Again, past continuous.
We're waiting for the bus.
They were, okay.
They were waiting for the bus. Do.
Well, so this is the question, right? Well, past continuous. So we need verb to be here in the past. Well, and this verb here with ing ending, yeah?
What were you doing
What
when
past?
you heard the news?
Yeah,
What
so
were
here,
you
what
when-
were
What were you doing?
when you heard the news, yeah?
What were you doing when you heard the news? Watch.
Well, please. Past continuous, so this verb here, please, somebody.
We were watching a movie.
Yeah, we were, okay. Ой, господи, да что ж такое? Yeah, here.
When the alarm went off, we were watching a movie. Eat.
Well, please. They,
They were eating.
yes. So past continuous is not so difficult, yeah?
They were eating lunch when he arrived. Okay, round 2. We're talking about the past perfect simple. Drive.
Well, you remember past perfect simple, there is had and participle 3, yeah? So please. The train wasn't running, luckily, this is
I had
irregular.
driven to work.
Yeah, had driven, good. You understand this. So the train wasn't running.
Yeah.
Well, but before that, I had driven to work. Well, driven, that is not without, by car, yeah? So that is by car.
The train wasn't running, but luckily I had driven to work. Finish.
Well, please. So we
had finished eating dinner by the time he finally arrived.
yeah, okay. So arrived, but before that, we had finished eating, okay?
We had finished eating dinner by the time he finally arrived. Not here. So this is a negative sentence.
Okay. So who can do it? Well, you remember.
Hadn't heard, right?
Yeah,
I was
hadn't
shocked
heard.
when-
Yes, I was
Yeah.
shocked. Well, when you told me you hadn't heard the news. So, like, it is in the past. It is in the past. Well, but this past is even further into the past, right?
I was shocked when you told me you hadn't heard the news. Go.
Okay, go off. Well, you know what what the meaning is? Like, the alarm went off. Продзвонив, да? Будильник продзвонив. Okay. Past perfect. It
Has been.
No. It is
Um,
past. It is past perfect.
Had
Had
been.
gone off.
Had gone off early in the week. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you understand the meaning, yeah? So the alarm. Это не будильник. Sorry, извините, это тревога, не
Тревога.
будильник. Да, тревога. I'm so sorry. Тревога ну, звучала во второй раз.
коли це зірвалось на цьому тижні.
Не зірвалося. Це go off, как, ну, то есть була тривога, прозвучала тривога. Go off. When we talk about...
Одне зі значень go off – це взірвалось, like, literally speaking, explosion.
Yes, well, but alarm cannot go off. Ну, у нас же тревога не может взорваться.
It. І під it я розумію, ну, взрив.
No.
Це зірвалось.
Ні, це alarm. So we have the connected sentences. So the alarm went off for a second time. Тобто тривога ну, звучала, чи як сказати, була другий раз, вона була і раніше на цьому тижні. Це it замінник слова alarm here. Ми не можемо так собі надумати, що це. So it had been earlier in the week. І раніше вона вже була.
The alarm went off for a second time. It had gone off earlier in the week. Eat.
Okay, so they... Yeah, boys, please. Past perfect. They... You're sleeping, I understand.
Had eaten.
Why not? They had already eaten, yeah? There is no negation.
They had already eaten lunch when I arrived. Round 3. This is the past perfect continuous. Drive.
So past perfect continuous, well, that is
Had
an
been
action.
driving.
Yes, I had been driving behind Jim before the accident happened. So the accident happened in the past. Well, before this accident, there was a process, right? So I had been driving.
I had been driving behind Jim before the accident happened. Wait.
Well, so we
Have been waiting
had,
for a long time.
yeah, had been waiting. It's in the
Had been
past.
waiting.
Had been waiting, okay.
We had been waiting for a long time and the tram was still nowhere to be seen. Follow.
Okay, So
Been
we,
following.
yes, had been following. Yeah, so here there is no, well, exact, well, time points here, well, but that means that it was in the past, okay?
We had been following the news closely, listening for updates. Go off.
Yeah, so once again, with go off, yeah? So what would you say here? Present perfect, oh, past perfect continuous.
Had been going off.
Yes, had been going off all week before they finally fixed it. So that was like a continuous action before they fixed it. Mhm.
The alarm had been going off all week before they finally fixed it.
Я думаю, я вважаю, що тут go off можна перекласти як сигналізація срабатувала. So alarm go off, yeah? Сигналізація срабатувала. So alarm, ну, не тільки тривога, як сигналізація теж можна перекладати. Сигналізація спрацьовувала цілий тиждень до того, як вони його полагодили на кінець, yeah?
Eat.
Yeah, please. They
Were eating.
no. Well, because it showed. Well, so we had a result in the past. It showed, but before,
They had
so
been
it happened.
eating.
Yeah, they had been eating only salad for weeks, and it showed. Well, here that's why it showed. Here, they are interconnected actions. These two. Well, so there was a process. Well, and then the result. Yeah. Well, you understand this. It showed. Дало себя знать, да? And it showed. Okay.
They had been eating only salad for weeks, and it showed. Right, so before we start the final round, I want to find out which of the tenses we've practiced so far has been the most challenging for you. Let me know down in the comments which one was the trickiest. I'll be able to share a lesson or two that will help you out and help you to study further. Round 4.
Okay, so she asks a question, well, about the trickiest past tense. Well, past simple, past continuous, past perfect continuous, well, we have here, yeah? And past perfect simple. Yeah, the answer is obvious. Well, past simple is not so difficult. Past continuous, well, as well. Well, past perfect and past perfect continuous, well, could be a kind of difficult. Well, but again, if you know how to how to create the form, well, and when you practice, well, there shouldn't be a lot of problems. Well, but yeah, we will see. Okay.
Narrative tenses all together.
Well, so they are called narrative tenses. Well, at the very beginning, well, I mentioned that, well, past tenses, all of them, they are often used to tell stories. That's why they are called narrative tenses. Це як часи для розповідей, так?
So these sentences will be a little longer and they'll all be connected together into a story. So you'll need to work out which tense is the best one to use with the information that you have. Now, it may be possible to use more than one in some of these situations, so don't stress too much. But remember, if you need a little bit more time to think, hit pause. There's no rush. You're in control. Pause, have a think, write it down before you keep going. Leave.
Okay, so you decide which tense to use. Well, who can tell me?
When I left the house, when I was leaving the house, when I was leaving,
Uh-huh. So when I was leaving the house, uh-huh, it was
this
raining.
morning it was raining.
Okay, can we also say when I left the house this morning it was raining?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
would
I
Yeah.
would just
Y-
left.
Well, I guess, well, both are possible. What is the difference? So when I left the house this morning, it was raining. So when I left, it happened. I was outside, yeah? When you say when I was leaving the house this morning, it was raining. So you were in the process, like you were putting your coat on, you were opening the door, well, and at the same time, it was raining. Well, but
Ось,
when I left,
це те, що я намагався зрозуміти. Оце для
ага,
мене, знаєте, от граматика в плані, як використовувати, для мене зрозуміло, ну, як
мгм,
математика. А
так,
важче за все зрозуміти, яку форму треба використовувати. Не як її використовувати. Ну, от, наприклад, тут, ну, можна сказати, коли я вийшов, а
так,
можна, коли я виходив.
так,
От, наприклад, ще українською. І це буде
так,
різні форми
різні.
англійської.
І
Тому що
так і в
коли...
українській,
Але
і в
смисл,
українській
по
різні.
суті,
Ага,
так, ну смисл та по суті один і теж. Коли я виходив, тобто ще не закрив двері, чи коли я
так.
вже вийшов. Ну, тобто, в принципі, різниця в 3 секунди, а форми
Невелика,
різні.
так. Але ж ми і в рідній мові кажемо по-різному, так? Це нюанси,
Ну, в принципі, так.
який, да, це нюанс, який, ну, ви хочете донести до співрозмовника, так?
Так.
So,
Ну,
let
тобто
us
тут
see what...
можна і так сказати, і це не буде
Так.
помилкою, в
Ні,
принципі.
не буде. Це не буде помилкою. Зараз подивимося, що вона нам...
When I left the house this morning, it was raining.
Okay, so she says when I left the house. But it's okay. Well, but when I was leaving the house this morning, it was raining, is also okay. Yeah? Okay.
I think left more correctly because you didn't know about the rain before you went out of the house.
Well, it is not clear from the
Якщо
context.
ти
Make sense.
відкрив двері, побачив дощ, ну, наприклад.
Так.
Ну, ти виходиш, відкрив двері, побачив, і ти в цей момент виходиш, ще не вийшов, а ти ще виходиш зі свого частного дому. Ну,
Розумієте, коли ми
приватного.
використовуємо past continuous, і коли ми використовуємо як у двох частинах речення, то це більш як ми описуємо бекграунд такий. Що происходило? When I was leaving the house this morning, it was raining. Well, then the cars were running along the street. The people were sitting on the bench. So це більш таке описове. When I left the house this morning, it was raining. Well, that is like, you left the house, you were outside, and then, yes, you saw it was raining. There is difference, well, but this difference is not so crucial. Well, but there is difference, of course. Тут не можна сказати, що більш правильно, тому що залежить від того, що ви хочете донести. Якщо ви описуєте картинку, тоді це буде past continuous, past continuous. Well, in this case, when I left the house, well, you just state the fact. It was raining at the moment when I left, so it was raining. Mm-hmm.
Pour.
So what will you say here? Well, you know this expression, pour with rain. It's okay. So that is like heavy rain. Mm.
It was pouring.
It was pouring with rain. You think past continuous, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then were flooded with water. That is past simple, passive voice. So the streets were flooded with water. This is the fact in the past, which is the result of what? So we have a result of a previous. Uh-huh.
It had
Yeah,
been
pouring. Yeah, it had been pouring. I think this should be past perfect continuous. Well, because we have the result for now for the past, yeah, in the past, and this result was so this was the result of the previous action, long action. Okay, let us have a look.
It was pouring with rain and the streets were flooded with water.
Oh, okay, so she preferred past continuous. So it was pouring like the period of time in the past, and at the same time, the streets were flooded with water. Well, okay, I can agree. Well, but as for me, it is better to use past perfect continuous. Well, because the action started in the past, was continuing for some time, and as a result, the streets were flooded. Okay, do you agree? You keep in silence. I guess that you have to be agreeing. Okay. Маєте розуміти, що якщо ми використовуємо різні часові форми, то ми маємо щось, якісь різні нюанси. В цьому реченні, коли ми використовуємо past continuous, ми маємо на увазі, що ці дії, вони одночасні. It was pouring, the streets were flooded with water. Якщо ми використовуємо had been pouring, well, we mean that, ми маємо на увазі, що деякий час йшов дощ, і в результаті цього вулиці затоплені водою. Може, він на той час, коли вулиці затоплені, вже і не йшов. Окей?
Listen.
So, what ideas do you have here?
I listened.
Yeah, I listened to my favorite podcast. Why not? Well, so that is, you just state the fact. Well, can you use past continuous here?
I was listening.
I was listening. Why not? Again, I was listening to my favorite podcast. Okay.
I was listening to my favorite podcast. Pay, to pay attention.
Yeah, that is like the story which continues. So I was listening to my favorite podcast and
I paid, just paid.
close attention to my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say negative. So it's like, have you understood that this is the story? Yeah, this is the story so far. Well, like.
Round 4. Narrative tenses all together. So these sentences will be a little longer and they'll all be connected together into a story.
So they are connected
but remember,
together.
If you know going, leave.
So you remember here, when I left the house this morning, it was raining. Yeah. Well, so it was pouring with rain, and yeah, it was pouring with rain, and the streets were flooded with water. So I was listening to my favorite podcast and I should be negative. Yeah. Which tense?
I didn't pay.
Not paying.
Yeah, I didn't pay. Yeah, I didn't.
And I was paying close attention to my feet.
Oh, sorry. Do you understand the story? And I was paying close
Я ні.
attention. Why I was paying? Can you explain? Well, do you understand when why I was paying close attention to my feet?
I was
Mhm.
focused that it means to see the details.
Uh-huh. Mhm. So the streets were
Я реально не
flooded.
розумію, як перекласти.
It means all my mind was focused on my feet.
Yeah, yes, I understand. Well, I'm trying to follow the story. Well, you remember, so this person left the house and it was raining, right? Well, then the streets were flooded because of a heavy rain. Then he or she, well, so I was listening to my favorite podcast. So this person was aware of flood in the streets, yeah. So that's why, and I was paying close attention to my feet. It just seems to me a little bit illogical. So if a person is listening to something, well, maybe, well, he or she is concentrated on this podcast. Okay, but anyway, so I was listening to my favorite podcast, and at the same time, I was paying close attention to my feet. Yeah, so past continuous. Well, these are two actions. These were two actions that were simultaneous. Okay, at the same time. Okay.
Not want.
Okay, so we continue this sentence. I was listening to my favorite podcast and I was paying close attention to my feet as,
I did not want.
yeah, as I didn't want to sleep in the rain. It is obvious. Okay.
As I didn't want to slip in the rain. Arrive.
Okay, so when I
Arrived.
when
When
I
I
arrived,
arrived.
yes, when I arrived. Okay.
When I arrived at the tram stop, there must have been 50 people there. Wait.
So all of them. I
You're
guess they,
waiting.
yeah, we're waiting. They all were in the process. Yeah.
All of them were waiting for the tram. Wait.
Okay. Here.
One woman said she was waiting for over an hour.
Had been waiting.
Yes, had been waiting is better. Well, because one woman said that was in the past, and before she said that continued for 1 hour. Yeah, so she had been waiting for 1 hour.
One woman said she'd been waiting for over an hour. Notice.
Then I noticed the
Yes,
street was
and I
full of cars.
noticed here. Okay, okay.
Then I noticed the street was full of cars. B.
Yeah.
Was.
The traffic was backed up. Any other ideas?
The traffic was backed up as far as I could see.
Yeah, because, well, these are a kind of simultaneous here, could see and was, okay.
Rain.
Yeah,
Yes,
what do you
raining.
think?
It had been raining all morning, so the streets were very wet.
Yeah, I also think that it had been raining. Well, we will see.
It had been raining all morning, so the streets were very wet. Cause.
Ghost.
Caused to slide. Okay.
All that rain had caused a car to slide through a red light and into the oncoming traffic.
So she says had caused. Well, let us think about it. Why had caused? Well, here we have like an event which happened in the past. So this car slided through a red light and it slided into the oncoming traffic. Yeah, so that is the past events which is described with the like infinitive here. Yeah, well, but it happened in the past. Well, and the cause was before this, so that's why had caused. Yeah, do you understand? Keep in silence. Well, that means that you understand.
Call.
Okay, what do you think? Well, there's a prompt here. We have two gaps here. So again, a man at the tram stop, like already something had already happened. Yeah, so that will be. Yeah, which tense?
Had already
Yeah, had
called.
already called. Yes.
A man at the tram stop had already called the emergency services. Not arrive.
Okay, so that is the other part of the sentence here. So had already called for emergency services, but they
Haven't arrived.
hadn't. Yeah, it's everything is in the past. Yeah, hadn't arrived yet.
But they hadn't arrived at the scene yet. Help.
Oh, and a nurse who had witnessed the accident. It was in the past.
Helped.
You think helped, just past simple.
Was
Just
helping.
with yeah, maybe was helping is better because that is a description of an action, right? Not just a fact in the past.
A nurse who had witnessed the accident was helping the injured people. Warn.
Okay, what do you think?
Warned.
Warned.
Just past simple.
Because we have yesterday. Yesterday is the time expression that I think
Yeah.
only used in past tense.
No, I think that here it is possible. Yeah, warned is okay. Well, but I guess, well, that we're talking about the events which happened in the past, storms and wild weather, and the evening news. Well, they did something before it. Okay, so I guess both are possible, but I would prefer to use past perfect.
The evening news from yesterday had warned of storms and wild weather.
You understand why? Yeah, storms and wild weather in the past had warned earlier.
Not stop.
Okay, what do you think here? Again, people from driving in this storm. So people were driving in the storm, or people drove in the storm. It was in the past. Warnings were before that. Yeah,
Hadn't stopped.
hadn't stopped people. Yeah.
But the warnings hadn't stopped people from driving in the storm. Treat.
Well, here it is more or less clear. By the time the emergency services got to the scene, that was in the past. In the past, the nurse already.
Threat.
Already, so that means that she finished doing something before another action in the past. And it could be continuous, by the way. So it can be a past perfect continuous, well, because she was in the process. So how would it sound? The nurse. Well, guys, past perfect continuous.
Had been treating.
Yeah.
By the time the emergency services got to the scene, the nurse had treated the injuries already.
Okay. It is possible to say had treated. Well, I would prefer had been treating. Well, because when they got to the scene, well, she could be in the process, right? Or if she finished, then had treated. Well, if she was in the process, had been treating the injuries already. Well, I think that continuous is better here.
Exchange.
Had exchanged.
Yeah, had
insurance
exchanged.
details.
Yeah, so if again, it is like had treated and the drivers had exchanged. So they have already done this. Yeah.
And the drivers had exchanged insurance details. So what did you think? Hopefully you enjoyed the challenge. The really cool thing is that you've been practicing your grammar, reminding yourself of these tenses as we went through this video. But you can also use this same quiz to practice your speaking skills.
Okay, so you see, when we are telling a story, well, we can use different tenses. Much depends on what you really want to convey, what you really want to say. Yeah. Well, okay, good. Now you can have a break, and after the break, we will have one more story with narrative tenses. We will listen to it, and again, we will where is it? Stop sharing. And we will do exercises and try to tell the story in the past tenses. Okay, so you come back now. It is 10:25. So you come back in 20 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so at 10:40, I'm waiting for you back. Okay, guys, I'm here back. I hope you are also back after a cup of coffee. Yeah? Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay, great. So we continue, and what are we doing? We have one more story, but now we will listen to this story. Yeah, we will listen to the story, and then we will see which tenses are used there, and we will talk about why they are used there. Okay. Yes, we do this. Share and here and here. No, not here. Here we are. Well, so can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so we will listen to an after dinner story. Well, that is, well, you know, there are some stories which are called business jokes. Well, that is about, well, different stories from business life. Here you have the list, the sentences which describe different events which happens in this story, which happen in this story. Well, but here they are in their own order, Well, let us go through these events. Well, because while you listen to, you will have to order them in the way which they happen in this story. Okay, let us read first. Well, who will read, guys? Okay, Stanislav, can you?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I will make it bigger. Wait a second. Yeah. So please, can you?
Так, the largest crocodiles mount shot snap behind the CFO.
Yeah, do you remember what CFO is?
Чесно кажучи, не дуже.
Who remembers? Yeah, that is Chief Financial Officer. Chief Financial Officer. Also, we have here CEO. That is Chief Executive Officer. Well, so Chief Executive Officer, this is the head of the company, yeah? Well, Chief Financial Officer is the head of the financial department. Okay, so you understand this. Shot snap behind. Shot snap.
Ну, закрив Crocodiles, ну, закрив свою пащу біля.
Yeah, shot snap. Well, that is yeah, without any. Ну, клацнув, так скажемо, да? Shot snap. Клацнув. Так. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, continue reading, please.
There was a loud splash.
Loud splash. Yeah, splash. You remember the word splash?
Splash, як сплеск.
Так. Добре.
The CEO gave a party.
Good.
The CEO showed the executives the pool.
Executives, the pool. Executives.
Executive, the pool. Everyone ran back to the pool. The CFO asked the CEO who was responsible. The CFO climbed out of the pool. The CEO challenged
his team. Okay. So you see that they are in the wrong order. Now you are listening to, well, and you put them in the correct order. Ready to подождите, наверное, я опять не включила вот эту вот ерунду, которая звук дает. Сейчас, одну секунду. Звук. Stop sharing. Start sharing. Вот он. Вот.
Track 9.
Yeah, can you hear?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, okay, great.
Do you know the one about the CFO and the crocodiles? Well, there was this CEO who was giving a party for his executive team. Over the years, the boss had done very well for himself, so he was proudly showing the executives around his luxurious country house. Anyway, at the back of the house, he had built the largest swimming pool any of them had ever seen. Absolutely huge, you know? But the pool was full of very hungry crocodiles. So the CEO said to his executives, "The most important quality for an executive is courage. Without it, you will never become a CEO like me. So, this is my challenge to each of you. If anyone can dive into the pool, swim through those crocodiles, and reach the other side, I will give them anything they want. My job, my money, my house, anything." Well, of course, everyone laughed at the challenge, and nobody took it very seriously. Anyway, they had just started to follow the CEO towards the barbecue when suddenly there was a loud splash. Everyone turned around and ran back to the pool where the chief financial officer was swimming for his life. The crocodiles had almost caught him when he reached the edge of the pool. He'd just managed to climb out of the pool when he heard the mouth of the biggest crocodile close shut, snap, behind him. Well, the CEO shook the CFO's hand and said, "I'm really impressed. Until you dived into that pool, I never imagined you had such courage. You accepted my challenge, and now anything I own is yours. Tell me what I can do for you." The CFO was still recovering from the swim. He looked up at the CEO and said, "You can start by telling me who the hell pushed me into the pool."
So, this is the story. Was it difficult to, to follow, to understand?
No.
No, very good. Well, then I guess that we can.
Track 9.
Wait.
Do you know the one about...
Yeah, here. Now we will try to put these sentences in the correct order. Okay, so which do you think will be the first?
The CEO gave a party.
Yeah, the CEO gave a party. Okay, then
The CEO showed the executives the pool.
okay, wait, then
The CEO challenged his team.
challenge his team. Okay,
The CFO climbed out.
it says
SFO.
CFO. Yeah, it's CFO.
CFO climbed out of the pool.
Нет, сначала, наверное, there was a loud splash.
Yeah, I guess there was a loud splash. Yeah. Okay, then
Everyone ran back
to the pool.
everyone ran back to the pool. Good. Then
the largest crocodile mouth shut snap behind the CFO.
no. So before that is the first he climbed out of the pool, and then he heard this sound of snapping mouse. Okay. Well, and the last one is like this. Well, if you look again at these sentences, well, all of them are in the past simple, yeah? So the CEO gave a party, CEO showed, CEO challenged, there was, everyone ran, well, as if CFO climbed out, shut snap, well, and asked. So why they are in the past simple? Can you tell me why?
Because this is just as a fact, right? What
Well,
happened?
so in consequence here, so one action after the other, one after the other. Okay, well, but of course it wasn't like this in the story which we listened to, right? Which we listened to. Well, so this here is here are the sentences from the text, from this audio. Well, and we will listen once again. So, and I want you to take pens or pencils and make notes. Well, there are gaps, yeah. So, and your task will be to make notes, to write down what verbs, which verbs, and in which tenses are used in these gaps. Okay. Are you ready? Ready?
Yes.
Okay, so then we start.
Track 9. Do you know the one about the CFO and the crocodiles? Well, there was this CEO who was giving a party for his executive team. Over the years, the boss had done very well for himself, so he was proudly showing the executives around his luxurious country house. Anyway, at the back of the house, he had built the largest swimming pool any of them had ever seen. Absolutely huge, you know? But the pool was full of very hungry crocodiles. So the CEO said to his executives, "The most important quality for an executive is courage. Without it, you will never become a CEO like me. So, this is my challenge to each of you. If anyone can dive into the pool, swim through those crocodiles, and reach the other side, I will give them anything they want. My job, my money, my house, anything." Well, of course, everyone laughed at the challenge, and nobody took it very seriously. Anyway, they had just started to follow the CEO towards the barbecue when suddenly there was a loud splash. Everyone turned around and ran back to the pool where the chief financial officer was swimming for his life. The crocodiles had almost caught him when he reached the edge of the pool. He'd just managed to climb out of the pool when he heard the mouth of the biggest crocodile close shut, snap, behind him. Well, the CEO shook the CFO's hand and said, "I'm really impressed. Until you dived into that pool, I never imagined you had such courage. You accepted my challenge, and now anything I own is yours. Tell me what I can do for you." The CFO was still recovering from the swim. He looked up at the CEO and said, "You can start by telling me who the hell pushed me into the pool."
Okay,
Track 9.
so let us try. Yeah, who will read the first sentence with
А можно его one more time послушать?
yeah, please, why not?
9. Do you know the one about the CFO and the crocodiles? Well, there was this CEO who was giving a party for his executive team. Over the years, the boss had done very well for himself, so he was proudly showing the executives around his luxurious country house. Anyway, At the back of the house, he had built the largest swimming pool any of them had ever seen. Absolutely huge, you know? But the pool was full of very hungry crocodiles. So the CEO said to his executives, "The most important quality for an executive is courage. Without it, you will never become a CEO like me. So, this is my challenge to each of you. If anyone can dive into the pool, swim through those crocodiles, and reach the other side, I will give them anything they want. My job, my money, my house, anything." Well, of course, everyone laughed at the challenge, and nobody took it very seriously. Anyway, they had just started to follow the CEO towards the barbecue when suddenly there was a loud splash. Everyone turned around and ran back to the pool where the chief financial officer was swimming for his life. The crocodiles had almost caught him when he reached the edge of the pool. He'd just managed to climb out of the pool when he heard the mouth of the biggest crocodile close shut, snap, behind him. Well, the CEO shook the CFO's hand and said, "I'm really impressed. Until you dived into that pool, I never imagined you had such courage. You accepted my challenge, and now anything I own is yours. Tell me what I can do for you." The CFO was still recovering from the swim. He looked up at the CEO and said, "You can start by telling me who the hell pushed me into the pool."
Okay. Yeah, so let us start. Who will read the first sentence?
I can start.
Yeah, please begin.
The boss had done very well for himself, so he
Ага.
так этот пробел я не записал. So he
Okay, maybe someone knows. Well, who has
Was proudly shown.
proudly showing? Yeah, so he was proudly showing the. Okay, good. So here we have past perfect and past continuous, right? So he was proudly showing that was the event in the past in progress, right? Well, but the boss had done very well for himself. That happened before he was proudly showing, okay? Yeah. Sentence number 2.
I can
Mhm.
continue.
Yeah,
At the
please.
back of the house, he had built the largest swimming pool any of them had ever seen.
Had ever seen. Again, had built, past perfect. Not past simple, but past perfect. Why? Well, because he did it, well, before he was showing, yeah, before he was showing. Well, and before, well, all this happened, all this party, right? Okay. Yeah, the next, please.
Тоже могу.
Yeah, please continue.
They had just started to follow the CEO towards the barbecue when suddenly there was a loud splash.
Okay, so there was a loud splash. It is in the past, well, but they had started before this splash. Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, you can continue, or maybe someone else wants. Okay, please.
Let it be someone else.
Okay,
I can
let
start.
it be.
I can start. Everyone had almost count. Или это мне сейчас? Had almost count. Yeah, let it be someone else.
Okay, well, who knows? Who has written?
Yeah, so I can
Uh-huh.
continue.
Yeah, please.
Everyone turned around and ran to the pool where the chief financial officer was swimming for his life.
Yeah. So turned around and ran back. Well, that is just facts that happened at this party, right? Well, and at this time, chief financial officer was swimming for his life. So he was in the process. Well, during which, people turned around and ran back. Okay. So that was like interrupted action. Well, okay. Number 5. Who wants? Yeah, any volunteers? Who knows what to put into these gaps? Nobody? Nobody. So no ideas here? Ah, okay. So the crocodiles had almost caught him when he reached the edge of the pool. Again, he reached, that was in the past. Well, but this didn't happen, yeah, before he reached. So that's why that is past perfect. So that was before this action in the past. Yes, and the last sentence?
Um,
Yeah, please.
he just managed to climb out of the pool when he... Вот это тоже не записал.
Yeah,
when he hurt, maybe.
Yes.
The mouth of the biggest crocodile closed shut, snap behind him.
Okay, so he has just managed. Again, so this happened before this. Well, so you see that in the story, when we were like putting sentences in the order of the events, consequent order, all of them, they were in the past simple. Well, but in the story, if we did like this, it would be kind of boring and dull. So that's why when we tell a story, we use different past tenses. Okay, like past perfect, past continuous, past simple, well, sometimes past perfect continuous. Well, do you have any questions as to the usage of tenses here? No? So everything is clear. Okay, good. That is good. No. Сейчас, почему я не могу выйти? Ага. Сейчас. Escape. Okay. Yes. Here we are. Well, then. Wait a second. Yeah. Now I just want to show you something else. Yeah, we also have past tenses. Так, share. Here we are. Well, here, the first task here is quite easy. They suggest us to identify tenses. Well, but I don't think that it is a kind of a problem for you. Well, it's easy. Well, just let us read and we'll see whether it is clear for us why tenses are used here. So there is another story. There is another story. Well, who wants to read? Yeah, anyone to? Yaroslav, yeah, please.
Это вот то, что слева есть. I was doing...
Сейчас я побольше сделаю.
Ага.
Сейчас. Перестаралась. Yes, here it is.
I was doing my work placement in a large bank near to where I live. I was working in the back office I had asked to do something where I could deal directly with clients, but they said no. Anyway, one day something really awful happened. My supervisor had given me some client information to enter into a database, and I was filling in the various the
Various.
various fields on the screen. While I was entering the information, I suddenly saw a name I recognized. It was a friend from school called Sylvie. It seems that she had applied for a loan to have some cosmetic surgery. Of course, the bank had strict confidentiality rules, and the next time I saw Sylvie, I didn't mention anything. But even so, I wish that I hadn't found out about it.
Okay, it is also a kind of, I don't know, a joke or just a story. Okay, the usage of tenses here. So we have past continuous, past perfect. Also, we have past simple and past perfect also. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions as to usage of these tenses here? Well, do you understand why they are used? Yeah, the question is to everyone.
It's clear for me.
Well, it's clear. Okay, it's clear. Okay, now, well, they suggest, well, like to complete the summaries of the main use of which tense in exercise 1 that we have just read. Well, the correct tense name in the gap. So it's like to state once again that we know when and which tense to use. So to show that one event happened before another, we use past perfect. Okay, to describe an activity in progress that gives the background to the main events, that is past continuous. Well, and when we describe the main events of the story, that is just past simple. Okay, it's easy. Well, now here, what we do, well, again, we practice past tenses, past simple and past continuous in each sentence. So we have to decide which tense is where. Okay, so one verb is in simple and the other is in continuous in these sentences. Well, okay, who will try the first one?
Well, maybe I will volunteer then.
Okay, yeah, Bogdan, please.
So, I think here, first one, I was revising for my economics exam when you called.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
Very good, very good. Well, let's continue. Well, Stanislav, maybe? Are you here?
I am sorry.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
I am sorry.
Uh-huh.
I am not.
Past tenses, not am. It is impossible because the instructions to use past tenses.
I did not.
Uh-huh.
What you said.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, you use.
Article about Johnny Depp.
Well, you used, well, the first verb here in past simple. Yes, I didn't hear what you said. Well, and well, the instruction here says that one verb is the past simple and the other one is in past continuous. So if here you use past simple, I didn't hear what you said, then here it should be past continuous. So past continuous?
I'm reading.
No, past continuous. I am reading is present continuous. I was reading.
I was reading.
I was reading.
Article about Johnny Depp.
Okay, so I was reading, so you were in the process. Well, we have already come across, well, these verbs which we usually, well, we don't use in continuous. Well, here is one of these verbs. Well, you remember when there was the verb have, which is not used in continuous when its meaning is possession. Like, I have a car, we cannot say I am having a car, right? Or we can say I'm having breakfast. Well, because to have breakfast, it is an action. Well, but if it is possession, no continuous. Well, here is one of those verbs which we don't use in continuous form as well. This is a verb, well, it is so-called verb of physical perception. These are verbs, you know, see, hear, smell, touch, feel, and one more. And one more. Which one I forgot?
Sense, maybe?
No. See, smell, taste. Yeah, taste. Well, these are, you know, our 5 feelings and the verb feel itself. Well, but in the meaning of physical perception, because of course these verbs can have different meanings. Like see, well, if it is about physical ability, well, I see you. Yeah, I cannot use it in continuous. Well, but if I say I'm seeing my doctor tomorrow, well, the meaning is like I'm visiting. Yeah, so then we can, of course. Well, so when you, well, but here is a verb which can never be used in continuous. So I didn't hear here. Well, good. Number 3, please. Number 3. Well, Andrei. Okay. Yeah, please, Victor.
I saw Eva yesterday.
Andrei?
She was
Okay.
talking to some friends outside the library.
Okay. Okay, yeah, very good. Well, and one more. Well, volunteers? Yeah, called Andrei. Andrei, are you here? Can you read?
Yes.
Yeah, please. Number 4.
I saw Eva yesterday. She
No. Number 4. Number 4.
While I was walking in
Yeah,
the
while
park.
usually shows that that was the process. Yeah, so that means
Yes,
well,
it's in progress. Past walked.
No, continuous progress.
Was walking.
Yes, while I was working.
Working in the bar last summer, I was.
No. Simple. Here, simple.
Meeting.
I met. Past simple.
I met this guy called Fabio.
Fabio. Okay. Well, boys. So you have a link. I sent it to you, yes, in chat. Well, you can use this link to practice past tenses. So we practiced 1 page from this site. Well, there are 3 more. So you have about 30 sentences. Well, and you can practice, and there are answers there, so you can do it by yourself. Do you have any questions? Well, I hope that so you have revised this material, and yeah, things have become clearer to you. Questions?
No questions.
No questions. Okay, so then that's it for today.
All right. Thank you lots. Yeah. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you. Have a nice
Bye.
day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Раньше
Давай.
закончил. Или я раньше закончила, что-то не поняла, наверное, со временем ошиблась. Ребята, уже все ушли? Я, наверное, ошиблась со временем. У меня тут часы по разным временным поясам стоят. Еще на...
Ну, нас освобождают иногда раньше, это ничего в этом страшного нет.
Да. Окей. Ну, давайте так мы с вами договоримся. Вот по этой ссылке вы можете поработать самостоятельно сейчас, хорошо? Окей?
Окей.
Ну, работайте. Как-то я, да, перепутала я что-то. Да.
Где ссылку смотреть можно?
Ссылка в чате.
Кстати,
Ссылка вот она в чате.